Cricket presents The Campfire, and today we are talking District 5-5A, Division 1. The schools in this district include Newman Smith, R.L. Turner, Bryan Adams, Molina, Sunset, W.T. White, Timberview, Birdville, and Richland. Let's analyze these teams in our film session. Last year, Mansfield-Timberview simply annihilated the competition in this district as they went undefeated and their average winning margin was over 52 points a game. However, there will be a new head man for the Wolves as James Brown moved on to SMU. But there is never a shortage of athletes at Timberview to make the coaching transition easier. Jalen Woods will return in the backfield, and defensively, look out for junior Dylan Battle on the line. Birdville and Richland fought it out for second place last year with Birdville prevailing. Look for the Hawks to be in contention for a higher playoff seed again behind Offensive Newcomer of the Year Noah Norman behind center. The Royals return some big problems on the offensive line that could help spring Michael Turner in the running game. It's been a while since we've seen Newman Smith in the postseason, and the Trojans are thinking 2023 could be the year they return. Christopher Hughes and Jaden Coulter make a pretty formidable 1-2 combination out of the backfield for them. W.T. White was the fourth seed out of this district last year, and they aren't eager to give up that spot in the fall. Marcavius Justice will hope to lay down the law again for the Longhorns at the middle linebacker position. Sunset has the best tight end in 5-5A with first-teamer Joseph Guevara returning. Andrew Castillo and Devin Jones will help make Bryan Adams' defensive line hard to run on. R.L. Turner and Molina will both need to improve their offenses to compete for wins in this district.
Switch to Cricket and get a free Moto G 5G with your new plan. Smile, you're on Cricket.
Players on the Rise is brought to you by Parker University. Do you or your student want a career training the world's best athletes? Check out our bachelor's degree in Strength and Human Performance today. For an even deeper look at 5-5A Division 1, here's producer Ward Fasold and insider Matt Diggs with the District Breakdown.
All right, it's District Breakdown time. We are talking 5-5A Division 1. My main man, Professor Diggs, is with us. Diggs threw me on Mansfield Timberview early in the season last year and wouldn't let me get off them. I didn't want to get off them, and they went fairly deep into the playoffs.
You know, you were big on Mansfield Timberview. You were waving that flag and seeing all kinds of things with Jarvis Reed and some of those special players. But I told you I was really worried about this district, and I was worried that it wasn't going to prepare them. And you might view their playoff distance as something you can be excited about. They were not one of the top teams. I mean, you had Longview and Reedy and Lancaster and some really talented teams in this region last year. And Timberview just didn't measure up. I think, Dave Campbell's, a couple other had them very overrated. Timberview, they got the two quarterback system happening right now, and I don't necessarily like that. But Cameron Bates and Zurich Humes, both quarterbacks that ended up making all district last year. You talk about the two-headed monster, and the coaches respected that, and I guess they thought it worked. I don't love those things, but I guess we'll find out how it works this year. But my team to really keep an eye on, kind of a team to keep that I'm very passionate about in District 5-5A. It is time to finally get our green and gold out and support the Newman Smith Trojans. I think we're going to see the Newman Smith Trojans make the playoffs for the first time in a little while, back when our guy, Coach Paul Ressa, was leading them 2-3 deep and losing to Longview in the playoffs. I think we might finally see the Newman Smith Trojans make the playoffs. Go ahead and put me on the message board right now. I like Newman Smith. But when you rank it from 1 to 9, your Timberview Wolves, I know your favorite team, Ward, got them at number 1. I like Birdville at number 2, Richland at number 3, my guys, Newman Smith number 4, W.T. White 5, Bryan Adams 6, Molina number 7, R.L. Turner 8, and those Bison from Sunset, we got them at number 9 this year. See you next week.
We'll post the entire breakdown segment this Wednesday on our social media pages. Now let's take a look at some game changers in our Players on the Rise presented by Parker University. 5-5A named an offensive lineman their district MVP, and it could happen again in 2023. Richland's Daniel Cruz is a dominating interior lineman for the Royals and earned himself first-team All-District as a junior. He measures in at 6'4" and 297 pounds, as Cruz could easily get a part-time job at IHOP with all the pancakes he laid out last year. Daniel will play on both sides of the ball for Richland, but the offensive line is where he'll be in college. Cruz has offers from Texas, Texas A&M, and Alabama, among others. Birdville showcased a sophomore gunslinger last year in Noah Norman, and all he did was win Offensive Newcomer of the Year honors. As a 10th grader, Norman threw for almost 2,500 yards, 25 touchdowns, and only 8 picks. Noah has a strong, accurate arm, and with most of the teams in this district relying on their ground attack, Norman should put on an aerial show. Look for some big-time offers to come in after a solid junior season. At Richland, Michael Turner has taken full advantage of the holes 4-star Daniel Cruz has provided him. As a sophomore, Turner averaged more than 8 yards a carry and was a first-team All-District selection. For the season, Michael totaled 849 yards on the ground and 12 touchdowns, as he has great vision to find the hole and then has that burst that coaches love to see. Turner has offers from Texas Tech, Arizona State, and Wisconsin, among others. Defensively, Newman Smith safety Jalen Moses is a problem for district opponents. As a junior, Moses tallied 78 tackles and recovered 2 fumbles. He also broke up 9 passes as the Trojans looked to him as their last line of defense. Moses has gotten offers from SMU, Utah State, and Texas State, among others. Players on the Rise is brought to you by Parker University. Check out our bachelor's degree in strength and human performance today.
Switch to Cricket and get 4 lines for $25 each per month, plus unlimited nationwide 5G. Smile, you're on Cricket.
Our Ward Fasol cut up to Newman Smith head coach Robert Boone to talk about his Trojans and the rest of the district in our Media Day segment.
All right, it's Media Day. We are talking 5-5A Division I, and I got Newman Smith head coach Robert Boone with me. Coach, man, you had a solid season last year. One tough loss to WT Wake kind of kept you out of the postseason, but a lot to build on for the 2023 season. Are you having an exciting offseason? And if so, tell me why.
We're super excited over here in the land of Troy. We've had some of the best workouts with our kids. The buy-in, the culture from the kids to the coaches have been outstanding. Going into year 3, there's a lot of things in place and in motion to where our kids understand exactly what needs to be done to achieve something that hadn't been done around here in a long time. We have a bunch of hungry kids that have experienced some first around here, so they've had some success, but also we've learned from some of our losses. And so with a lot of guys returning, I got a lot of guys with chip on their shoulder and elite focus, but we're significantly bigger, faster, and stronger. One of the best off seasons I've been a part of. Here's a great stat. Jaden Coulter and Chris Hughes, they essentially split the backfield last year and both had a little over 850 yards apiece.
Wow.
And splitting that backfield. And then also you add in our 3-year starter, Pearson Ruggiero, at the quarterback position. He rushed for a little over 700 yards. And so those 3 guys they're a problem. I mean, they're lightning quick, and they all have just elusiveness, agility, and strength.
That's awesome. That's what I like to hear. All right, Coach, thanks again.
Thank you.
You can catch the entire interview Friday on our social media channels. That's going to do it for this week's Campfire. Next week, we head to Frisco as we dive into District 6-5A Division I. Until then, have a great week, everybody.